Students, let's say that you got a little wild here and you said, I'm going to go to France. What a wonderful place it would be. And you go to France and then you go and you see La Tour Eiffel, the Eiffel Tower. And here's the most beautiful rendition of the Eiffel Tower that you're ever going to see. Wonderful. What a beautiful Eiffel Tower that is. I think the French might sue me for that awful, awful drawing, but you get the point. This is the Tour Eiffel, the Eiffel Tower. And on the Eiffel Tower tour, you have an English-speaking tour guide, which is nice, and they say the Eiffel Tower is 324 meters tall. 324 meters. And then you try and stop that. Well, but excuse, how much is that in feet? And they're like, oh, sorry, we must move on to the next part of the tour. And then they don't answer your question and you're lost. You're saying 324 meters. How tall is that? Luckily, you paid attention in math class because we can do this pretty easily. We know that 1 meter is the same thing as 3.3 feet. So you say to yourself, oh, it's 3.3. Do I multiply those or divide those? Oh, I can't really remember. Well, when you're converting something, here's the rule of thumb. The units that you don't want to see anymore should cancel each other out. Remember, when there's a number on the numerator and the denominator and they're the same, they cancel out. 4 divided by 4 is 1, cancels out. X divided by x cancels out. It is 1. Well, this will be no different from meters divided by meters. So we have 324 meters over 1 times, well, the unit we want to cancel out because we don't want to see it anymore is meters. So the meters should be on the denominator. Or as the French would say, dénominateur. 3.3 feet will be on top. The meters and the meters, they're on different sides of the division bar. Let's see this. When we multiply this, we get 324 meters times 3.3 feet. And 1 times 1 is 1, so we have 1 meter. The meters end up canceling out. And now we're just left with the unit that we care about, which is 3.3 feet. I know you're going to cry when I do this, but I have to erase this very beautiful drawing of the Eiffel Tower. (324) times 3.3. You can use a calculator, or you can do it by hand. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 2 is 6. Carry 1 is 7. 3 times 3 is 9. Start with a 0 on the next line. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 3 times 6 plus 1 is 7. 3 times 3 is 9. 2, 9, 16, 10. Okay. We had 1 decimal place, so we'll have 1 decimal place in our answer. How many feet is that? How many feet is the Tour Eiffel? 1,069.2 feet. Okay, well that's great. And then they say to you, okay, that will be 15 euro, please. 15 euro. That's the currency they use. They don't use dollars in France. They use a currency called euros. So then you say, oh, goodness, how expensive is this? I have no idea how expensive a euro is. And then the tour operator says, the conversion is 1 euro, and that's the symbol for a euro, is the same thing as $1.36. You say, oh, okay, okay. So I know that the Eiffel Tower is 1,069.2 feet, but how much is this going to cost me? 15 euros. Well, the unit that we want to cancel out is the euro, because we want to figure out how much this costs in dollars. So the unit that we want on the denominator is 1 euro. And what we want on the numerator is $1.36. When we multiply these together, we get 15 euros times $1.36 divided by 1 times 1 is 1 euro. Look what happens to the units we don't necessarily want to see anymore. Bye-bye. Euros and euros cancel out. 15 times $1.36. We're finally going to figure out how much this tour cost us. 30, carry the 3, 15, 18, carry the 1, 5, 6. Start a new line with a 0. 6, 3, 1. 0, 14, 10, 20. There were 2 decimals when we started. There will be 2 decimals at the end. So a 15 euro tour is the same thing as a $20.40 tour. So you can pay the 15 euros, or if that French tour operator is very nice, you could give them a $20 bill and 40 cents and say, maybe you can come to America one day and visit. Let's summarize. Cancel the units, and you'll be able to convert ratios, rates with your conversions. Have a great day.
Okay, I'd like to show you guys something that I don't think I ever learned in school. I've only picked this up since I started teaching, and it's really a handy thing to know, especially in a science class. In science, you're all the time converting from one kind of unit to another kind of unit. For example, suppose we do some sort of an experiment in a physics class maybe, and we measure the speed of an object, and we figure out that it's traveling 50 feet per second. Okay? 50 feet per second. But I would like to convert 50 feet per second into miles per hour. So I'd like to come up with miles per hour. So that's what I'm talking about, converting from one kind of unit to another kind of unit. And the thing is, these units work just like regular fractions. If you have 3/4 and you multiply it by 1/3, the 3 in the bottom and the 3 in the top cancel, and you end up with 1/4. Well, units work the same way. So right now I've got feet in the top, seconds in the bottom. I want miles in the top and hours in the bottom. So let's first of all work with the time. I'm going to have to go from seconds to hours. Okay? So one step at a time. Jackson, how many seconds in a minute?
60.
60 seconds in a minute. So what I would like is to have seconds in the top and minutes in the bottom, because that way those seconds and those seconds would cancel. Well, notice it's seconds over minutes, and you just told me that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. When I was in school, I always knew that we were either going to be multiplying by 60 or dividing by 60, but this way of setting this problem up helps you keep track of all that. Since we want to have these seconds cancel, I want to have seconds in the top to go with these seconds that are in the bottom, and Jackson just said that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. But I really don't want minutes, I want hours. So let's also multiply by minutes per hour, because then those minutes will cancel with those minutes. And Becca, how many minutes are in an hour?
60.
60 again. But again, it's in the numerator, right? 60 minutes every 1 hour. So these minutes will cancel, these seconds will cancel. So right now I have feet in the top and hours in the bottom. I don't want feet in the top, I want miles in the top, but at least we've got hours in the bottom, which is what we want. So I'm going to have to multiply by one more fraction because I've got these feet in the top and I want to get rid of them, so I'd like to have feet in the bottom. Okay? I want to have miles in the top, so what I need to multiply is miles per foot. Okay? Now that sounds strange, how many miles per 1 foot? But I'm from Colorado, and we know that Denver is the mile-high city because its altitude is 5,280 feet. So that's the conversion for converting from feet to miles. Every 5,280 feet is 1 mile. But see, this way of setting this up helps me to remember that I need the feet in the bottom, so I need 5,280 feet per 1 mile. Every mile goes with 5,280 feet. So now these feet cancel with these feet. You got to have one in the bottom and one in the top. And what we're left with is miles in the top and hours in the bottom. So the arithmetic, the actual problem is we're going to take our original number, which was 50 feet per second. We're going to multiply by 60. We're going to multiply by 60 again. But then we're going to divide by 5,280 because that 5,280 is in the bottom. And whatever we end up with, that will be our answer. That'll be miles per hour. Now this would be a great place to use a calculator. And I happen to have a calculator all set up ready to go here. We're going to take our original 50. We're going to multiply by 60. And then we're going to multiply by another 60. But then that 5,280 was in the bottom, so we divide by 5,280. And when I hit enter, I get it as a fraction. Or if I want it as a decimal, I can hit Control Enter. It's about 34. 50 feet per second would round off to 34 miles per hour. Okay? So no matter what kind of units you're working with, if you set up these ratios, okay, thinking about the units, you can convert from one to another. Let's do another quick example. Suppose you have a job and you're making $9 an hour. So that would be $9 every hour. And the question is, if you have this job for a month, how much money do you make in a month? So we have dollars per month. So we want to go from dollars per hour to dollars per month. Well, fortunately, dollars are in the top and dollars are in the top. So we're not going to have to do anything with the dollars. It's just the times. We're going to have to go from hours to months. Now let's just say it's a part-time job and you only work 4 hours a week. Okay? So my first fraction here is going to be 4 hours per week. But now, this is where it's important. We want to get this hours out of the bottom, so we're going to have hours in the top and weeks in the bottom. And we said it would be 4 hours every 1 week, right? And we can consider a month to be four weeks long. So we'll multiply by weeks per month. And we'll say there are 4 weeks in 1 month. So just like that previous example, these hours cancel, these weeks cancel. I end up with dollars in the top and months in the bottom, and that's exactly what I want. Now this time I don't even need my calculator because 9 times 4 is 36, and 36 times 4 is 144. So if you made $9 an hour and you worked 4 hours a week for 4 weeks a month, you'd make $144 every month. Okay? No matter what kind of unit you're working with, look at what you have, look at what you want, and just think, what fractions do I need to multiply by to get rid of what I don't want and get what I do want?